Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we are taking a look at mystery white package with a barcode, and as you can see here, delivered by sentfromchina.com. So there's the packing information, my address, and all that wonderful stuff. Now this should be Kid Flash. Matter of fact, I am 99.9% positive that inside this package is the Young Justice Kid Flash. And purchased it off eBay from one of the eBay sellers from China. So that's the only thing I'm getting from China, unless my wife has ordered something. Then maybe a spoon will come out of this, or bra and panties, or why does a guy always go right to bra and panties? Well, because that's what we think about now. So I'm, like I said, almost 100% positive this is Kid Flash from the Young Justice, and it is a loose figure. We'll open up the package and we'll see on film, although if you've clicked on the description of this video, you probably will already know it's Kid Flash, because I will have already opened this package. And yes, it is in fact Kid Flash from Young Justice. And they did send me one little piece, although I don't know if you can see that or not. Looks a little grimy. So he is what he is. Like I said, it's a loose figure from China. It's got some oil on him, which is really kind of disturbing a little bit. But yes, there is Kid Flash. I'm disappointed that I kind of missed my window in being able to pick up Kid Flash, since I do now have all of the figures from the Young Justice line. It would have been nice to get, man, he is really oily. So I don't know what they had in that bubble wrap, or if the seller had an oil farm that he was in. But, you know, it is what it is. So maybe do some cleanup on him, but we'll move packaging out of the way. They did send one accessory, which is a pointless accessory, I guess. Kid Flash is supposed to come with his diorama base, which is a speed limit sign, 65-mile-an-hour speed limit sign here in the U.S. And there's supposed to be a ribbon or a plastic piece that's supposed to wrap around, that is supposed to have the yellow and red stripes that the plastic piece is supposed to attach to this. This goes in his back, so as you have him in a running pose, you can have this like streamer coming behind, trailing off of him. So they sent me this, which I guess I could have him running with it, where it looks like just this little spot on his back is running fast. But yeah, don't know what I'm really going to do with that. I'll probably go in my parts box. He's also supposed to come with this funnel looking thing where it's supposed to appear that his fist is going around really fast, creating this like vortex. Pieces that clip on his ankles here to show that he's running fast. And then his goggles, these pieces come off, so you could pull these two off and put the other two on, and what's attached are his red goggles that would go over his face. Speaking of his face, we'll get a good look at it. Good look at Wally. And I believe this is just the same mold that the original Kid Flash from the DCUC was in, with a little bit of, you know, maybe the head sculpt was a little bit different, and some of the black markings in here, which I don't have that Kid Flash, so I can't do a proper comparison on. But from what I've seen, I believe it is just the exact same body. But all the same, DCUC articulation, blah blah blah, we've seen it 100 times. Still really good. I have Batman here to show off to the side. Now what I'm planning on doing is stopping this video. We'll get Batman out of the way. I'm planning on stopping this video, bringing out the rest of my Young Justice and in the 6-inch line, and talking about them. I think I have all the video editing stuff down on my computer that I can effectively do this properly. If not, this will be the end of the video, and then I will just do the Young Justice video right after this. But hopefully I can get this all edited properly. So hopefully we'll see you in a little bit. If not, I guess this is the end of the video, and then watch the video that comes right after this. So hopefully we will see you in A Kid Flash. Okay, hopefully this video worked, that I was able to edit them. We'll find out. If not, I guess welcome back to the channel, or if it did work, then this should all run seamlessly together. As you can see, I have all of the Young Justice figures from the wave that have been released for us to buy. Excuse me. I guess I better take a little bit of my Dark Knight Berry here to wet my palate. Refreshing. Okay. Anyway, and of course, back here, the first figure that we received from the Young Justice was Robin. So my very first video on this channel was about this particular Robin, and then the first full review was Rob's Rogues #2. So you can go back and look at the date of that, and when we get to Kid Flash, to see how long it's taken to get all these figures. I believe the next figure that I had purchased, man, I don't remember. I should go back through my own channel and find out the correct answers to these. But I had picked up Red Arrow, and I believe Aqualad, or maybe it was Aqualad, then Red Arrow. And of course I was able to pick up Artemis, then Batman, Superboy, Sportsmaster, and then finally Kid Flash off of eBay. So I was able to buy every single one of these figures, with the exception of Batman and Kid Flash, in a store. I didn't have to resort to buying online. I guess with the exception of Robin, I did pick him up off of Amazon at first, and then I did go into my local stores and see Robin, so I could have very easily picked him up there. But I guess I did pick up Robin from Amazon.com. But you've been able to find all these figures in stores, and the two figures that are constantly on store shelves right now are Aqualad and Artemis. Those are the ones I see constantly all the time in my two local Walmarts. Those are the two figures that are there. Sporadically a Robin will be there, and I did pick up Red Arrow back there at one of my Walmarts. So, and then Sportsmaster here up front, and Superboy way in the back as we hear my cat meowing. Picked up both of them at a Target. So I'm real happy with the line. Initially, I believe during the Robins review, I had said I wasn't going to buy all the figures in the line. I think once I was assuming that this was going to continue on just like the DC Universe and was going to grow, and then I would just pick up my favorite heroes and or villains from a line. But once I had heard that the line was getting canceled, and I knew that this was going to be all that was here, I thought, you know what, it will be nice to pick them up. So that's what I slowly decided to do, and I have all the display stands and everything, and like as you could tell here looking at the table, it does take up quite a bit of room to get everything all stood up. So yes, your shelves will be full if you have them on display stands and their bases, but I think that just adds something to it. Currently on my shelf I have the 3 buildings of Batman, Red Arrow, and Robin, and I have my figures up and around them. Once I get a couple more shelves to put around in my man cave, I will have the other display bases and put people with them. Something that I have been doing since the Young Justice Season 2 has started, we have been introduced to some other heroes. So if you have some of your other DC UC figures, you can place them in with the Young Justice, and it's nice that they are in the same size and scale and shape. We have a Wonder Girl in the show, so even though this is Donna Troy, she works as my Wonder Girl or my Wonder Woman. Captain Marvel has been in the show, as Zatanna has been. See her off to the side. Of course, we've got Superman. Throw him over there with Superboy. Kind of Red Arrow with, or Green Arrow with Red Arrow and Artemis. And of course I have my Aquaman that can go with Aqualad back here if I could get him back. That's going to be about close enough that I can get Aquaman back there, as you can barely see him because of Zatanna. So as you can tell, if you have DC-UC figures along with your Young Justice figures, the size and the scale is perfect with all of them, so they are easily interchangeable, and you can have a nice, you know, Justice League. Although it's kind of funny, I put Sportsmaster here up front, that all of them are going to gang on this poor guy. So as a whole, I really do like the Young Justice line, and they've had a lot of good figures. Batman has been, this has been one of my favorite Batmans, however you want to say it, that we've received from Mattel, period, just in their DC Universe line. I love the cape on this Batman. It's not the big and bulky cape. It tends to topple the figures over, and I just think that's a great Batman. Batman and Kid Flash up here I kind of have together. You can only really find them online. I haven't seen them in stores yet. I don't know of anybody that has gone into a Walmart or a Target or Toys R Us and has found these figures. I know out online you can find a blue Batman and a red Azrael that is supposed to be a Toys R Us exclusive. I have not seen them in Toys R Us from the DC universe, so, but I've seen them on eBay. So but I think this has been a good line with Mattel lately. I just think their marketing is really kind of poor. You have a very successful Young Justice cartoon series, and then you cancel the toy line that a very successful show is being run off of. There have been no commercials in the TV series, no print ads, and really no ads in general about the DC UC figures in general, or Batman Legacy, or the Movie Masters. I just think they're doing a really poor job at marketing the figures for, even if they're gearing, especially with the Young Justice, if it's on a Saturday morning cartoons, you would think you'd be trying to gear that towards a younger audience to pick up the figures from the TV series that you're watching. I know when the Superpowers was on, that you would see Superpowers toy commercials. So as I fell in love with the Superpowers TV show, I was saying, hey Mom, I would really like Batman and Robin from the Superpowers, and then my collection started to grow, and then I could be playing with my figures while I was watching the cartoon series, as I think most of us that are collectors really tended to do. That's how we got introduced to toys to begin with, is because there was a visual product we were watching on Saturday mornings that we loved so much that we wanted to be able to go to our sandboxes or into our bedrooms or with our friends and play with our toys and reenact our favorite TV series. And it's been fun as a collector to be able to continue doing that and buying toys. But if it wasn't for the internet, a lot of us wouldn't even know that these were out unless we were wandering into toy aisles. I think most of us that have been collecting, once we started collecting, we just continued to go back to the toy aisles and online retailers and buy things that we continue to love. I just think Mattel has just done a really poor job in marketing together. Even in comic books, I would be buying pages in comic books, especially the Young Justice comic book series that's out, that makes no mention of the toys that are being made. Again, it's just like word of mouth or finding things online. And then the other gripe that I have, even though I did buy Kid Flash offline from eBay, it cost me $12.99, is paying ridiculous scalping prices online. I'm one of those, if Kid Flash retails for $19.99. Why the heck are you selling the figure for... Perfect example, I would love to have a Batman and Robin Walmart exclusive 2-pack. And on eBay, they're like $120, $130. To me, that's outrageous. If the retail price of the figure is $32, I could see that it's been a while, but why are you jacking the figure up almost 10 times the markup of what the figure originally was? I could see a $50 price tag, even that's a little high, but you're talking $30, $40 2-packs, you can swallow that a little bit easier. So I have a Young Justice Batman that I bought loose, if you've seen my Young Justice Batman review, and then I was able to buy him from Enchanted Toy Chest with his base and everything. So I've decided I'm going to sell my Batman Young Justice loose at the same price that I paid for him, which I feel was about a $20 figure, or at least the $15 that he should have been in the store if he was a single carded figure. So that's my little soapbox in collecting things. I know people are trying to make money off of stuff, but if you could have gone into the store when the figure was out and paid $30 for it, paying $120 some, $130, I think is a little bit ridiculous. But that's my soapbox, so hopefully I don't get blasted for that. But like I said, I am glad that I was able to pick up a lot of these, all of the Young Justice figures. Kind of disappointed I didn't get the Kid Flash base. Would have been nice to have that base here as well with all of the other figures. But like I mentioned during the Sportsmaster and Superboy review, that if you are thinking about getting some of these figures, the clock is ticking almost to the very end of the availability of the Young Justice figures, as they are getting harder and harder to find in stores. Basically, once they're out, that's it, and then you may be forced to pay some of these scalper prices off of eBay, or even possibly Amazon is another place I've been picking up things. But I do understand that once the figures are gone, and that's the only ones that are out there, I do see why some of the figure prices are a little high, but then again, some of them I think are just plain ridiculous. So, but like I have stated multiple times, I am glad that I have basically a Young Justice completed line here, and it's kind of cool that I can kind of even assemble a Teen Titans version of the Young Justice, having a Kid Flash, a Robin, and, you know, Donna Troy, and a Batgirl back here, and Zatanna. I'm even thinking of picking up the DCUC Cyborg to kind of go along with them as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little review, kind of seeing all of the display stands. I just kind of threw them on the table rather quickly, but you can kind of see how they all pretty much connect and go together, as some of them are really kind of hidden. Maybe we'll even raise the camera up here a little bit so you can get a more of a top side view of all the figures. So that is going to do it for this review. We've been taking a look today, hopefully if the video splices together well, taking a look at Kid Flash up here that I got loose from one of the China sellers off eBay. Like I said, I was fine with the price that I paid for that. He was $12.99, didn't come with any accessories or anything, and paying $12 to $13 for the original Kid Flash from the DC Universe, he didn't come with any accessories at all, so I thought, okay, that's decent and a fair price. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogue signing off and saying we will see you guys next time. And I wanted to do this little tag video, hopefully that this will fit in as well. That this is the core of the Young Justice team that we have here, and sadly one figure that is missing is Miss Martian. As I was tearing down the rest of the figures and the display bases, I kind of noticed I didn't even mention Miss Martian, that I think is a real big oversight to Mattel for not creating that figure along with these, as I'm pointing with Superboy's hammer here. I think that would have been, that's a really big misstep, that is a character that a lot of people really like in the show, including myself, that she is sadly missing. I think we could have skipped Sportsmaster and they could have produced a Miss Martian. Even as much as I love this Red Arrow figure, they could have skipped him, sent him for later, and put Miss Martian, so that way you would have been able to pick up the 6 main characters of the show that you could have had. So sadly, we are left without having a Miss Martian for our collection. I've thought about picking up a Mary Baston figure and trying to do a repaint, since her body sculpt would be just about right to fit in with the Young Justice. I don't know if anybody has thought about doing that, but that might be a really good figure to customize and, you know, paint her green and get her in her correct colors. So hopefully Mattel has a change of heart, or as they are maybe getting ready to do something different with their DC license, hopefully they'll look at it and say, you know what, we didn't make a Miss Martian, and even if it's a subscription type of thing, I may bite the bullet just so I can have a Miss Martian. The 2 other figures that Mattel did produce molds for and did make figures for are a show-accurate Superboy for Season 2, which is pretty much like Season 1. He's in his black shirt with long sleeves, like 3/4 inch length sleeves, kind of like these are here. He has black gloves, cargo pants, and then his red S. And then they made a Guardian figure as well, which they have shown at like San Diego Comic-Con and things like that. So I just wanted to show basically the core group of the Young Justice here that is complete since the line is canceled, and say it is really kind of sad that we are missing the 7th member of the original team, would be Miss Martian. So hopefully Mattel will rectify that somehow. So this will be the official end of the video, and hopefully all my editing works out just fine. So we'll see you guys next time. Later.